Hello all, welcome to Tech Capture. In this video, we are going to see a very amazing project. So here, we are going to deploy a Node.js application on Linux VM. So it can be a Google Compute Engine, it can be AWS EC2 instance or Azure virtual machine. So you can use any Linux box here and the process will be same to all this project. Okay, so I'll be using the Google Compute Engine here. I'll be using the Nginx, I'll use MongoDB here. So all this stuff I'm going to use here, and let's see what we are going to do this project. I'll just walk you through the summary here. First, we'll create a Linux virtual machine in Google Cloud. Then we'll install the Node.js, all the dependencies. We'll create our application and run it locally. Then we start that app with the PM2. I'll explain you what is PM2 later when we are working with the PM2 in this video. Then we'll install and configure Nginx as a reverse proxy. Okay. Then we'll use a SSL to use as the HTTPS on our browser. Also, we'll link our domain to app. So suppose app will not run only on IP. We can assign any domain to that app. Let's say I will assign nodeapp.techcapture.com. So we'll assign HTTPS and run that web IP or web domain in the browser, and it will show our installed application with HTTPS. Okay. So all these things, all these steps we are going to do in the single video. So the video might get a bit longer, but I'll just try to cover all and each and every step in this video. Okay. Just stay tuned till the end, and if you have any question, just let me know in the comment section. I'll try to help you out. So let's first go to the Google Cloud and create our virtual machine. So I'll go to Google Cloud console now. I am on a Google Cloud console now. So I'll just go to Compute Engine and I'll create a very basic virtual machine here, compute instance. Okay. I'll just click on the create instance and I'll just follow the basic default configuration. I'll just give the name here as web server. Okay. I'll keep all other things as a default. I'll keep the memory, CPU utilized CPU, everything I will keep as default. Okay. So just make sure you just check this box, so it will create firewall for you automatically to allow traffic on 443 and 80 port. Okay, so just check box this and just click on create. So I'm just creating the virtual machine with a default configuration. Okay, so if you want to know more about how to create virtual machine, how to handle the firewalls and networking stuff, you can follow that in my separate videos. I have complete playlist on Google Cloud networking. So in this video, we are not focusing on that. So we'll just create our server and then we'll log in into the server and start configuring our application. Okay. So now my server is ready. I'll just SSH into this server. Okay, I'm inside my server now. First, I will just do sudo apt update to just update the packages. Okay, now I'll first download my code. So currently I kept my code in the storage bucket. Later I'll just upload it to the Git repository for you to install directly or download from directly from the Git. But for now my code is in the storage bucket. So this is my code here, Node app Linux folder. I'll just copy it. Let me check where I am, and okay, my directory. So I'll just do gsutility -r. And I'll just copy this complete folder here. Okay, it is just downloading this .git as well, no issues. So let me check if all files are here. Okay, all files are here. So if I try to execute application now, it will throw an error. I will show you why. Okay, so first it will say node not found. We have to install the node. How you can install the node? So I will provide you all the command. So first execute this command to add this distribution. So I'm adding for node 20. So let me change this to 20. And after that, I'll just install the node as the distribution is added here. Just test this. Okay, let me check the version now. Okay, so node version 20 is available. Now if I try to execute, so still it will fail for dependencies. Okay, so module not found because my modules are available in package.json. So if I show you cat, okay, so it has these dependencies. If these dependencies are not found, it will fail. So we have to first install the dependencies. Or we can install, we have to just do npm install and it will install all these dependencies in our Linux box. So once this dependency is installed, then we can run our application. So okay, one more thing, I'll show you that as well. So now dependencies installed. If I do node app.js, okay, so this is warning, you can ignore that. So now you can see MongoDB connected and application running on port 3000. Okay, so if I go now on my server, okay, I'll check this IP. If I go here and I'll just go for, now I'll show you two things. First, I will directly go on 3000 port. Okay, it still not work. Okay, it will say the site can't provide secure connection, SSL protocol error. Now I'll just do HTTP. Okay, and this is my blog application, Node.js application I developed here. So I developed this application in my previous video. So if you want to know more interested how I developed this application, so you just see my previous video. I will share you this complete code. So here I can simply add the blog. So if I go to my Medium account, I'll just copy one of my blogs. Okay, I'll just go here, just create blog and let's confirm if it is working fine. I'll just give the title and I'll just paste of the text. Okay, just try to add the blog. Okay, it added, and if I read, it will show you. So do not worry about this kind of formatting for now. So our main aim is to deploy this application. So see, now two things you can see. First, it is using IP address, but it is saying not secure. If I run it using HTTPS, it will not work. It is not working. Okay, so two things we have to solve, because if you want to deploy it in production, we cannot deploy this way. So we have to solve these two things. First, we have to make it HTTPS to work. Second things, we need some kind of domain, because user will not remember IP or anyone will not remember IP. So suppose I need to run it as myblog.techtrapture.com. So I take example, myblog.techtrapture.com. So I have to run this application under this domain name. Okay. So how I can make sure it will work with HTTPS? So that I am going to show. Second thing, so if I go here, okay, and I just close this window, okay, or if I just close this window, I just killed or close this window. So let's see now if my app will work. Okay, now it will not work because even I closed window that Node.js, this command was terminated, right? So this is not working. I have to run it again. So now it will say it's connected, and now if I reload, it will work. So how I will manage this? I cannot keep this window open. So if I have to keep this running on my production servers, or I have to install it on Linux server, I will keep it running. So how to install it on App Engine and keep it running, that I already showed in my previous video. That App Engine is the easiest way. You don't need any kind of additional configuration or Nginx configuration on App Engine, and it is just managed platform, and you can just deploy your code and it will take care of everything. But if you are doing it on Linux box, you have to take care of a lot of things. Now you have to make sure it is running with, like, it will not terminate when you close the window. So you cannot run this. You have to use the PM2, that is the process manager. So how we can use the PM2? First, you have to install the PM2. So here is a command to install the PM2. We'll just install the PM2 here first. Okay, PM2 is installed, and now we'll just do PM2 start app.js. Okay, and now you can see it started my app. It is using this memory. Currently, it is one instance, and I can do anything on my Linux box. That node.js terminal is not open. And if I see if it is still working, you can see it's still working, right? Even if I close this window, it will work. So I close this window, and if I reload, it will work. So let me log in again. Okay, I logged in now. Now one problem solved, that it can keep running now, but we still have two more problems. First, we need to replace this IP with some domain name, as I mentioned, myblog.techtapture.com. Second, we need to make it secure. Currently, it is not secure because there is no SSL certificates here. So we have to address these two challenges. So first, I will go with the domain. Okay, so I will just assign one domain to it. So instead of using IP, I want to use this myblog.techtapture.com. To do this, you should have this domain owned. So you should own this domain. So currently, I own this techtapture.com. So I can create the DNS entries and subdomain under this domain. Okay, so I am managing it in a Google domain. So if you are using GoDaddy or uh, there are multiple domain providers. GoDaddy is there, Hostinger is there, and multiple there. So each domain provider will have their own DNS setting. I'm managing it using a Google Cloud DNS. Okay, so I'll just go to show you. I have this DNS zone created, techtapture.com public domain, and I have to create one record here. Okay, so what I just want my blog techtapture.com. Okay, I'll just go here. I'll just use my blog techtapture.com. A record, TTL you can mention whatever you need. Okay, and here we'll just add IP address. So which IP address I need? So I need this IP address. We'll just copy this IP address and add it here. Okay, and I'll save it. As my virtual machine is on Google Cloud, and even this DNS is also in Google Cloud, so it will work faster. So I'll just keep reloading. Okay, so it will not work immediately. It will take some time. Okay, so we'll try this in a couple of minutes again. Okay, still not working. Let me just add, because it is running on 3000 port. Okay, so I'll just add the port 3000. Now it looks weird, right? If we are adding the domain name, we still need to give this port, as well as the SSL certificate is not added. We still have two problems, even though it is working. So if you go on any of the browser in the world, it will work, but still it is showing not secure, and still it is, we have to give the port name, port number, because our application is running on 3000. Now how you will handle these challenges? Okay, for this we have to use the Nginx. Nginx is a reverse proxy, so it will use to route your traffic from, it will take a request from you, and based on the domain, it will just route it to your 3000 port, but you don't need to give this port number. So now we'll configure our Nginx. Okay, how to configure Nginx? So I will provide all the commands for that as well, and I'll just do in front of you here. So I will do Nginx and SSL now. Let me just go, and I'll just first install Nginx. We are installing the cert bot and the plugins required to obtain the SSL certificate with Nginx. Okay, so I'll just install both The tools of certbot is tool provided by Let's Encrypt to manage the SSL certificate and generate the SSL certificate. So now it will install the plugins required for Nginx and the certbot. After that, we'll create certificate for our domain. So there is one command. Now instead of test, I will use myblog.techcapture.com because that's what we are using, right? So I will just replace it with my domain name and I'll just paste it now. So it will obtain the SSL certificate for my domain. It is asking me Gmail ID. I'll just give something like abc@gmail.com. You can give the valid email ID. I'll just do yes. So it is saying it's already accessed. Okay, so because Nginx is running, right? So we have to stop the default Nginx. So let me Control C and stop the Nginx. Stop Nginx. Okay. So I have to do it using root. Nginx is stopped and let me execute this command again. It should work this time because nothing is running on 80 now, and it works. Okay, so I have a certificate now. Now I have to create one file, or I have to update the existing file. So which file I will update. So currently I will just go to this file and remove the existing file. There is one default file. Okay, directly do let me do sudo su, and then I will do cd, and I will go inside this directory. So everything will execute with root in that case. Okay, now I will see there is a default, so I will just remove this default and I will just create a new default file. What should be the content of this default? So that content I already have here, but I have to update it. So I'll just update this with my blog name. Okay, so here is our domain name, my blog. Okay, here also I will update that. So wherever it is the domain name, I will update that. So I'm creating a complete blog on all these file, how to do this configuration, and I will provide more details like what is the meaning of this line, what is the meaning of this line. Currently, I cannot explain everything, so I can simply explain. Okay, this is just redirecting your HTTP traffic to HTTPS. This will map your traffic port 2443. Okay, so here is your localhost. It is running over 3000, but still it will map to your port 443. All these details I will just mention in the blog. So I'll just copy this file now. Okay, and I'll just add in this file. Let's save it. Now let me start the Nginx. Okay, and I should check my application now if it is running fine. So I'll just open new tab. I'll just execute it without 3000. Let's wait for a couple of minutes. Okay, now you can see it's working without giving the port name, and also you can see that not secure warning is also went. So if I show you here, it was showing not secure. Here it is not showing. If I click on this, it is showing connection is secure. That means our SSL is working completely fine, and even our domain name is also completely working fine. So we have implemented all the things now. So first thing, we installed Node.js dependencies. We created and executed our Node.js app. We tested it in local with IP address with only HTTP. Then we assigned domain name to it, but still the HTTPS was not working, and we had to give the port name. Then we configured the Nginx and we configured the default file for Nginx, and we have given all the configuration. Now SSL is also working, and we don't also need to give the port name. Now on one server, you can run your multiple node application. You have to just give this configuration. Okay, so this configuration you have to give the server name and your port names, all details where it is running. All these details you have to give, and you can run multiple inside your single Nginx, and Nginx will just route the traffic to the particular service or port based on this configuration. So I'll give all these commands, and I'll just create one blog as well. I'll just create one more blog on Nginx. What is the reverse proxy? What are the benefits of it? What is the forward proxy? So I'm going to create a couple of blogs on this. So this is a very important topic on how to deploy your Node.js application on Linux virtual machines or VPS. So I'll create one more video to do it on AWS. So there won't be much difference. But yeah, if people want, I can create it on AWS. And in case you are not using the default network, okay? So I'm using the default network here. So in default network, if you are not able to access, you have to check the firewalls. So where you can check the firewalls, the traffic should be allowed on the firewalls. So if I go to firewall, traffic should be allowed. Either you allow on all ports, or the best practice is to allow on the requested ports. So here you can see allow traffic. Here this is allow HTTP server tag. It is allowing from all the IPs. So similarly, you can have option to allow SSH, allow RDP. So you have to create this firewall to allow the traffic. So if I click on the allow HTTP, you can see the configuration of this firewall. It is allowing traffic on port 80 because this is HTTP. If I show you HTTPS, it will allow traffic on 443. Okay, so I just use the default network. So most of the firewalls I already enabled. But in case of such this for HTTP, you can see the 443 traffic is allowed. So if you are not able to access it, you are facing an issue, you just need to allow the traffic. Same for AWS, you have to allow in the security group, the traffic you have to allow from the internet, because this is the web application and you have to allow all the traffic. Now at the end of the video, I'll just share the code with you. I'll just upload it in the Git. So instead of downloading from the storage bucket, you can simply clone the Git repository and try to configure it on your virtual machine in the Linux box. Okay. So thank you for watching this video. Hope most of the concepts are clear for you, how to do the stuff. And if you're stuck somewhere, if you need any, just let me know in the comment section. Thank you again for watching this video.